mention that Joseph, his parents and his brothers arrived from Sham to Egypt, indicating that the origins of the Israelites are from Sham. The Quran says on the tongue of Joseph, and he got them from the Bedouin area. It's impossible that the people in Egypt would refer to the people in Sham as Bedouins, because Bedouins were the inhabitants of the Arabian Peninsula at that time. Moreover, immigration of the Bedouins from the southern Arabian Peninsula to the southern part of Misr was a common practice at that time. In fact, a large number of inhabitants of Yemen immigrated to the southern part of Misr, now called North Sudan, through Abyssinia, and settled there in the south after the destruction of Mareb Dam. The connection between Yemen in the southern Arabian Peninsula and Abyssinia is strong and goes back to BC. The two places shared strong ties and movements between their inhabitants. Southern Arabs immigrated to the African coasts of Abyssinia and formed their own settlements there. Also, Africans immigrated to the southern Arabian Peninsula and even ruled it several times. This kind of immigration continued until Ptolemies ruled and had control over the Red Sea. Obviously, this two-way immigration led to the unification of languages between the different nations. That's why the Southern Arabian language was the most popular language in both Abyssinia and Yemen.
Furthermore, when early Muslims emigrated to Abyssinia, escaping the oppression of Quraysh, they met al-Najashi, the ruler of Abyssinia. The companion Ja'far min Abi Talib read to al-Najashi from Surat Maryam in the presence of the priests. And while al-Najashi was listening to Surat Maryam, he burst into tears and his companions cried as well. A verse was then revealed, and as they hear what has been revealed to the Prophet, you can see their eyes full of tears from what they knew was the truth. Key question here is, how did al-Najashi and the priests understand the language of the Quran when they were speaking Abyssinian while Ja'far was speaking the Northern Arabian language? This proves to you that the language of Abyssinia at that time was the same language being used in the Southern Arabian Peninsula, Yemen, and that the Northern and Southern Arabian languages share the same origins, and that, as mentioned earlier, the people who speak both languages can understand one another.
In summary, southern Misr, now northern Sudan, as known in ancient times, shared the same language with the people of Abyssinia and those of the southern Arabian Peninsula, Yemen. This language is the Southern Arabian language. Also, the dirham is the currency of the Southern Arabian Peninsula, all the way to Abyssinia through the east and north of Sudan.
We can now understand that the immigration of Bedouins from the Southern Arabian Peninsula to southern Misr was a common practice at that time and not limited to the Israelites when Joseph welcomed his brothers and parents into Misr. All this proves that Moses spoke the same language of the Pharaoh, and that the escape of Moses from the Pharaoh in northern Sudan to the south in Madian, Yemen, makes perfect sense.
To take this one step further, based on the previous premise, mainly that Abyssinia, Yemen and northern Sudan shared the same language, as well as scientific proof that the first Homo sapien was discovered inside this triangle, specifically in Abyssinia, where the first civilization in the world was located, it shows that the first language humans used was this Southern Arabian language.
In a nutshell, the Southern Arabian language is the oldest and first language for humans to know, and it is the origin of all other languages. The Southern Arabian language, or the Himalayan language, continued to spread from Yemen and Abyssinia through immigration to eastern and northern Sudan. And the Ge'ez language, or the Old Southern Arabian language, evolved after this into three sub-languages: the Amharic language, Ethiopian, and the Tigrinya, Eritrea, and Tikrit, eastern and northern Sudan. All these languages have significant commonalities and are written using the same alphabet.